It's the Leprechaun himself, Warwick Davis. He says, "Hello, my dear," and she's like, "Ah!" She's screaming. He's like, "Oh, your lovely voice fills this cavern area. Thank you so much and welcome." And he makes her chains go away. Makes her chains. She's about to run. But he's like, "Wait! I have something for you, my dear." Hello. I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content on my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video.
What did you shoot him with? Steroids?
Leprechaun 4 in space.
This barbecue's only just begun.
But now we are starting. It is near the end of the 21st century, Chad. It's the year 2096. It's the year 20. And funny enough, this movie came out in 1996. See what the movie did? It's like 100 years in the future. We are starting out, Chad. It's the year 2096, and we are inside a LucasArts TIE Fighter video game. Remember those TIE Fighter video games that came, not the original with the vector graphics, Chad, but the ones that came out in like the very early 90s, like 92, 93, and they used those like really terrible backgrounds with the live action actors. That's what this, at least 75% of that movie is, chat. You use the live action actors on these like pre-drawn backgrounds with like some type of like Windows 95 graphics going. Like they're in front of Windows screensavers, chat. Like most of this movie, they're in front of Windows screensavers. It looks fucking awful. The movie opens up on this terrible looking asteroid field, chat, where it's like the rendering has not been done. It was at like 10% rendering. The shadow effects are going like all over the goddamn place. It looks like a Windows screensaver. That's what it is. And you see this long phallic ship, chat, make its way into view. And this phallic ship, chat, is heading towards a poorly rendered planet that keeps kind of clipping out of the scene itself. It's like, Jesus Christ, you cannot... Again, chat, you have $1.3 million. Do not spend that on a space movie, okay? You're going to get something like Leprechaun 4: in space. And no one wants something like Leprechaun 4: in space shit. I certainly don't. And we cut to inside the vessel, chat, where we see a very, very derivative scene of the 1986 classic, chat, Aliens. The whole thing is like, we got these goddamn Marines. They're guns for hire. It's not explained to me. They're Marines. Like, they're United States Marines, chat, I guess, or whatever I don't know what the colonial, I don't know what they are, but I get the sense they're like American Marines, chat, okay? But they're contractors. Like, so they're more like something like Blackwater, chat. They're more like mercenaries than actual Marines. So, again, the terminology they're using in the movie doesn't make any fucking sense for this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm questioning the logic of this movie, chat, when it's already illogical. There's a leprechaun in fucking space. There's not, you can't, you know what? I take issue with that. You can't go with that mindset, or you'll explode. You will explode, chat. You lose your mind, and you don't want to lose your mind while watching Leprechaun 4: in space. The last thing you want to do. But we're in the middle of this goddamn scene. Chat. Those Marines, they are suiting up. Marines, we are moving, and you get all sorts of Marine talk, chat. It's like, I need my smokes. I need my favorite gun, like all that kind of shit. You're introduced to various characters whose names I don't remember. I know there's a character named the Mooch. We got the Mooch, chat. There's a character named Lucky. He sounds like this. Boy, guys, this is my first mission, but I managed to get through boot camp. He like mentions boot camp, but you're a mercenary. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. I'm happy, but I managed to get through without any injuries, guys. I sure hope this one ends with me being very successful. It's like, I don't know about that, Lucky. We'll see. We'll see what happens to you. You got the Mooch, chat. You got Corporal Books. Corporal Books, Chad, who's pretty much, goddamn Hicks from Aliens, chat, Michael Bihn's character Hicks. And you also have, chat, you have Corey Coleman himself, Miguel Nunez, chat. Miguel Nunez is in this movie. And again, if you have never seen Miguel Nunez, chat, you have. If you are toasties out there, it's Corey Coleman. It's just Corey. That's who it is. So Corey Coleman is in this movie, chat, and he is the sacrificial black man, or is he, chat? Or is he? Well, we shall see. We shall see. But chat, as these Marines are suiting up, we're introduced to the doctor. She's the medical professional that's going to accompany them on their mission, chat. Dr. Tina. I don't know what her last name is, Chad. I forgot it, but we're going to call her Dr. Tina. And she's like, I'm coming down the planet with you to pick up some samples. And they're like, we don't need no doctor with her book learning down there. You're just going to be a distraction. She says, I happen to know Kung Fu. And they're like, whoa, Kung Fu. Okay, well, we got to get you suited up, Dr. Tina. And you can tell there's some sexual tension between her and Corporal Books, chat. There's a lot of it right there, but they have nothing in common. And their chemistry, chat, it's at a solid, I'm going to say it's at a solid 0. Solid 0 on the chemistry meter, chat. But who fucking walks in the goddamn room? The sergeant, chat. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, again, that $1.3 million, that was not the budget you need for a film like that. This guy walks out, Chad. He suffered a major traumatic brain injury, apparently, earlier in his Marine mercenary career, Chad. And half of his skull is titanium. It's like titanium shit. It's all shiny and shit. The thing is, though, they may say it's titanium. Bull fucking shit. That is some goddamn tinfoil. That's some smooth tinfoil that you have over like a plastic, like a part of a goddamn, like a plastic bowl, chat. And they just like rubbed out some tinfoil on and glued it to the actor's head. And it's constantly wobbling in the scene, shit, because it can't stay on because they didn't use the proper makeup or glue on it. Again, $1.3 million. You need more than that to do a sci-fi picture, chat, featuring the Leprechaun. And this guy comes out, chat, and he's doing the whole Marines, we are going down to the planet. And they say some fucking name. They say all sorts of planet names. Apparently, we've colonized the cosmos, chat. We're out of the Milky Way. We're out of our specific the solar system, chat. And we've been colonizing the Milky Way galaxy. And we've encountered other alien species that look just like us, which is actually be very rare, but they look just like us, Chad. We're open diplomatic relations and shit, whatever. But, you know, good old Sarge, he walks out, Marines, we are going down, and we are having a search and destroy mission on the planet's surface. That is search and destroy. Marines, what do we do? And they're like, we search and destroy, sir. That is correct. We're going to go down to this planet, and we're going to get that little sumbitch. So they already know about the Leprechaun, chat. The Leprechaun has been established. Apparently, he has been quite the nuisance in the Milky Way galaxy for some time, chat. Apparently, he's kind of like a terrorist, or he's an agent of chaos, kind of, where he apparently caused nearly $500 million, chat, like $500 million of damages to this one mining corporation due to his antics, chat. So there's been many scenarios, chat, and stories of the Leprechaun fucking with people in space. Did we ever see those stories? No, we only hear about them, chat. But boy, can you imagine how terrible those stories would have been too. So we're witnessing this one, chat. This is the one that we see, the potential downfall of the Leprechaun in space. And so they're going down there. This is an important mission. This is a big fucking payday, chat, okay? Because their backer, their very rich backer, chat, and I'm not joking, this is what his name is. Fucking his name is Dr. Mittenhand. Dr. Mittenhand is paying us very well. And we got to go down there and we got to destroy this leprechaun. I don't know why he wants to destroy. I guess we find out it's a ruse, that it's not really destroy the leprechauns, to do something else. But we got to destroy the leprechaun. Search for him and destroy him. And they go, hoo-yah! And then they go down to the planet, chat. Meanwhile, we cut to the planet's surface, chat, which is basically filling in for Mars. And we're in this cave where we see very curvaceous, very, heavy, very curvaceous space princess, chat. Very well endowed. That's where I'm looking for. Well endowed. And she is in basically the golden brassiere, the golden brown brassiere that Princess Leia wore in Return of the Jedi chain. She is struggling against her chains. And then who walks out of the mist, chat, of the cave? It's the leprechaun himself, Warwick Davis. He says, hello, my dear. And she's like, ah! She's screaming. He's like, oh, your lovely, lovely voice fills this cavern area. Thank you so much and welcome. And he makes her chains go away, makes her chains. She's about to run. But he's like, wait. I have something for you, my dear. And he magically, chat, snaps his fingers, and a whole table is presented with all sorts of food and the bubbly and champagne. He wants to wine and dine her, chat. And he's like, please, my dear, sit down. And she's like, oh, shit, okay. And she sits down. And the leprechaun sits down, and they initiate their conversation, Shay. Basically he's saying, listen, I kidnapped you, okay, because you are the princess to the royal crown lineage of Zadari. I have no idea what the fuck the name is, Shay. It doesn't matter. She's royalty. She's alien royalty. And she says, listen, what I want to do is I want to marry you so I can become king, okay? So then I won't be treated like a dog anymore. I just want some goddamn respect. I want some respect around here, and I want people to stop to make fun of me, and I want to just live a life of luxury. And she's like, she spits out her bubbly chase. She's like, I marry you? Are you kidding me? Absolutely not. No, and he's like, you laugh. So you laugh at me, but I know a little bit about you, princess. I know about your whole family history. Your idiot father. He goes ahead and gives all of his wealth to the needy, to the poor, those that need it most, okay? He doesn't keep it for himself. That's so stupid. He's left you in rags. She's adorned in all this gold and shit and everything. She's doing pretty goddamn good for herself. She said, yes, my father has made some terrible decisions, giving away our wealth to the filthy mud people peasants. And he goes, I agree, and I can give you that wealth back. And then he snaps his fingers shut, and all the food turns to all of his gold. This is my gold. All the gold and jewels. She's like, holy shit. Now I'm confused, Chad. Like, okay, so he can manipulate space and time. He can manipulate space and time, chat, and matter, and he can turn things into gold and jewels and shit. So then why doesn't he just make himself king? Is there a limit to Leprechaun's powers? Apparently there are, but I'm very confused by, it's like, okay, you want to become king, but you can control people, you can change their personalities, you can mess with space and time and matter itself. Why then become king? It doesn't make it, again, I don't know why I'm trying to apply logic to Leprechaun 4, in space, but sometimes I just gotta stop and go, wait a minute, what's going on here? And he says basically, listen, I can give you all this, just marry me and we'll kill your dad. And she's like, you know what? Let's fucking do it. He goes, woo, let's fucking do it. He's excited. She's excited about it, chat. They say, the king is dead. Long live the king. The king being, chat, Leprechaun. We shall share power, yeah. And then eventually, chat, the Marines, they make their way down to the planet's surface, and Windows screensaver behind them, chat, lightning. I love the actors like, oh, Jesus, I've never seen a storm like that since I bought a Windows 95. And the guy's like, settle down. It's okay. I've seen worse. I've seen much worse Windows screensavers. And so like, well, okay, Lucky, yes, sir. You go ahead and take point and find the Leprechaun. He goes, yes, sir, I will. And so Lucky, chat, he takes point and he goes into the cave. It's the first fucking place they look, chat, for good old Lucky. They go inside and he's looking around and shit. And then as they're going in, they see like this weird slug-like puppet creature, and Lucky shoots the shit out of it, or someone shoots. It was someone. Maybe it was the Mooch. I think it was the Mooch that shot. The Mooch, and they shot, and then the Leprechaun and Princess Zandira, or whatever the hell her name is, they hear that and they go, oh shit, we have visitors. And he's like, hide. And so then we cut back, and the goddamn sergeant is like, good job, Marine. Now they know that we're here. Lucky, continue to take point. Yes, sir. And so then Lucky goes deeper into the cave, chat, where he sees the table adorned with all the gold and jewels. And he goes, oh boy, it's a lucky day for Lucky. And he takes his helmet, chat, and he just starts pocketing all this gold. He shouldn't do that. Sure mess with the Leprechaun's gold, chat. It's a poor goddamn decision. And he's taking all the jewels and shit. He's like, oh my God, but he's distracted, chat. He doesn't see the Leprechaun, doesn't see Warwick Davis sneak up behind him, chat. And Warwick Davis goes, he gets right behind him, chat, and he pulls out, I'm not fucking joking, a lightsaber. You can't do that, Warwick Davis. Okay? You are a part of the Star Wars franchise. How dare you steal from it? But he literally pulls Chad out a green lightsaber, and he just goes to town. He's just hacking away at Lucky, Chad. Brings him down a peg. Literally, Lucky's like, oh no, is this an unlucky day? And he gets his fucking feet cut off, Chad, his legs cut off, his arms and shit. He's just a torso and a head. And Lucky, Chad, he's dead. Lucky's dead. And the Marines rush in, and they're like, no, Lucky, he took point. This was his first mission. And they start shooting, and the Leprechaun grabs. And then we get a shootout between the Leprechaun and the Marines. The U.S. Defense Force Colonial Marines, chat. And fucking the Leprechaun, he's holding his own. He's like, I got you. He's holding his own. I don't know how they can't fucking shoot this one little guy, chat, but, or why the Leprechaun doesn't just snap his fingers and just kill them. Again, he seems to forget he has magic powers sometimes, so now he's just using a gun, and he uses this gun throughout the entire film. He's like, I'm gonna use this shit, this little kind of submachine gun thing. They start shooting everything, and eventually Princess Zandira, or what the hell her name is, I'm gonna call her Zendaya. Good old Zendaya, chat. She walks out. She's like, what the hell's going on? And one of the Marines is like, throwing a grenade, which looks very much like a thermal detonator, chat, from Star Wars. Remember when Princess Leia as Bosch the bounty hunter, chat, says, I'm going to keep negotiating, becomes that thermal detonator, it freaks everybody in the fuck out except Jabba. So they throw the thermal detonator, chat. And this scene actually gets me. I'm like, you know what? Leprechaun does care, because she throws the grenade and it's right next to Zendaya's feet, right? And Leprechaun's like, no, stay back, stay back. And he sacrifices himself, Chad. He jumps on the grenade to protect Zendaya. And I'm like, whoa, okay, so maybe he does care in his own weird way. He jumps in the grenade and he takes the blast, just boom, he fucking explodes. And Zendaya, she gets some of the shrapnel, Chad, completely just destroys her fucking hand. She's like, ah! And she's blasted away, and she falls on the ground and severely concusses herself, Chad. Severely concusses herself, probably a little derpy now. And so all the Marines, they go on over. They go over, they're checking the princess. We got to get that wound plugged up, okay? Her alien splooge blood is getting all over the place. And that's why we have Dr. Tina down there, Jack, because she is a medical expert. And she wraps up the hand and shit. Meanwhile, the Marines, they look over the goddamn Leprechaun's remains and go, fuck yeah, that was for Lucky, man. And then the Marines start pocketing all the gold, Chad, because they're taking it back to the ship and shit. They're all putting a lot of gold and jewels and everything. But then one of the Marines, Chad, good old Kowalski. There's always a Kowalski among these Marines in these movies, Chad. Good old Kowalski. He says, Semper Fi, baby. And he takes his dick out and he just starts pissing on the remains of Warwick Davis, Chad. Just like, oh, God. Starts pissing on his leg and shit. But then all of a sudden, chat, there's like some weird after effects, like this magic dust or whatever, and it goes right up his penis. It just goes right up there. It goes, oh! So something happened. And then Corey Coleman comes on over. He's like, you need some help there, Marine? He goes, no, Corey, I don't. And he puts his dick back in him. He's like, oh, I feel sore. I don't feel good. And then we cut to the severed head, chat, of Warwick Davis. And he looks at the camera and winks. He's like, oh, he's not dead yet. He's up to his own shenanigans, his typical shenanigans, chat. Because I know you don't want to kill Leprechaun the first 10 minutes, chat. Kind of defeat the purpose of it being Leprechaun in 4: in space. Then there wouldn't be a movie. So it makes sense he's coming back. And eventually, they head back to the dropship, chap, and they fly back there. And they meet with their goddamn, they take all the shit to the laboratory. They take all the shit to the laboratory, chat, where we meet Harold. He's the assistant to Dr. Tina, chat, and Harold's a creep. He's very dismissive of Tina, chat, doesn't consider her a doctor because she's a woman. She's a woman, chat, and he doesn't think ladies should be doctors, shit, even though he's a sexist, creepy prick. And, they're like, all right, we got your shit, okay, but at midnight tonight, we're done, all right? Now we're gonna go fucking party. We're gonna snuff some cocaine. We're gonna snuff some cocaine, and we're gonna drink various alcoholic substances, okay? So we're not gonna do nothing. We're gonna also shrink down the gold for some reason for storage. And he goes, no. Dr. Mittenhand said that you're still on the payroll, okay? So if we need you for anything, you should be on standby. And they're like, hell no, we're not gonna do that. We want to fucking party. It's like, I wouldn't do that. And then the fucking TV turns on. Behind him, chat, there's like this robot television guy. And who is on the TV screen? It's Dr. Mittenhand. It's Dr. Mittenhand. He has a very stereotypical German accent. He's like, hello? I heard your mission was quite successful. And, Dr. Tina's like, it was. We destroyed the subject. We've collected his DNA and body parts. We also found this woman. Apparently, she learned, chat. She learned. She told Harold about this. She is Zendayan royalty, right? And this could be great because then we can, establish really close ties, good diplomatic relations with the Zendayans. And Dr. Mittenhands is like, that was part of the mission the whole time. I've wanted this girl. I need her. We will return her to the Zendayans, but I must experiment. And they're like, sure, that's weird. He's like, I do not care what you think, and you are still on my payroll. You were still on my payroll, so even at the midnight show, you may leave. You may accept your commission. But for right now, you must be on standby. And the Marines are like, all right, sure, we're going to go fucking, snuff some coke and party our asses off. And he's like, please leave. And eventually, they all fucking leave. They leave. And then they start partying, chat. Then they go start partying. You got, good old Books hanging out with Corey Coleman / Miguel Nunez, chat. You got Kowalski dancing with, what the hell is her name? What the hell is the other girls? Dolores, dancing with Dolores, chat. There are female Marines in this movie, chat, okay? Enough of the sexism from Harold, chat. I'm going to tell you right now, chat. I know it's a controversial statement to make. But women, they can be doctors and they can be Marines, chat. I'll allow it. I'll allow it, chat. This is one time. And so they're all having a good time dancing and shit. Good, Kowalski's there too. He's rubbing up on Dolores. But then fucking Dr. Tina, she walks in, chat. Good old Dr. Tina. And she's getting herself a beverage, chat. She was working with fucking Harold, and she's had enough of him. And she goes to the bar, but good old Book says, all right, guys, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna try to, woo. I'm gonna try to sexually woo Dr. Tina. And the guy's like, well, when you come back, you get me some smokes, you get me another drink. But then fucking Corey Coleman says, guys, he's not going to be back for a while, okay? You get it? And they're like, oh, shit, okay, all right, fine. So, the Mooch and good old Danny Chat and Kowalski, they let him go. And then good old Books, he talks to Tina Chat, and he strikes out. It's not great because they assume of each other, chat. They assume of each other. Dr. Tina thinks that, oh, you're just some, dude bro Marine just following orders and all that shit. And Books thinks Dr. Tina is just some haughty doctor that thinks less of him. But, but the thing is, they made assumptions, chat. And you shouldn't make assumptions of somebody, It's not fair. And the conversation ends. The conversation ends, and it's awkward. And then fucking, Books, he's like, I fucked it up. Oh, God. And he walks away. And Dr. Tina thinks, like, I fucked it up. I think he's so handsome and sweaty and sexy. But they don't know, Chad. They don't know. They just got to be honest. Be honest with each other, Chad. Got to be honest. And eventually they walk away. But then, Chad, we cut back to the dance floor where Dolores and Kowalski, man, they are grinding up on each other, Chad. It's like, it's getting hot. And all the Marines are like, woo, go Kowalski and Dolores. And Kowalski says, hey, Dolores, why don't we go, have hot, sweaty sex in the subterranean bowels of the ship where no one can see us? And she goes, that sounds great. Let's do it. And so they're walking out and they go, woo, go Kowalski. He's like, yeah, gonna drain the peen. It's like, don't say that, Kowalski. That's gross. Please don't say that. And he eventually leaves. Also, chat, while they're drinking, this is how cheap this movie is. They're drinking out of like these weird like Party City plastic glasses like you see at a children's party, chat. And every time they take a sip, you literally see the barcode, the goddamn tag at the bottom of the cup. They couldn't even spend the time to remove the barcode at when it says like $1.99. These $2 Party City glasses, chat. That's how fucking cheap this movie is. $1.3 million. And so they're drinking out of these. And it's like, oh my God, they're having a good time. And then Books fucking comes back, chat, but he's all sad and like, don't worry about it. Here, have some cocaine and drink up. But he's like, okay. Oh, it's good. So he's doing all right. Meanwhile, we cut to Kowalski and Dolores, chat, and they're in the dark bowels of the ship, getting their fuck on, having the sexy times. They're rubbing and grinding up on each other. And then Kowalski's like, hey, you gotta treat him. You're being a little rough. You're being a little rough down there. She's like, I haven't even started. And he's like, okay. But then she's like, oh, my peen. She's like, what's going on? He's like, I don't know, but it hurts. He's like, oh. And then, Chad, he's fucking thrashing around and shit. And he's moving. And like Dolores looks down, and his peen, Chad, it's like pressing against his pants. And it's not getting a woody, Chad. It's not getting a boner, as Dolores later calls in the film. But there's something literally trying to burst out of his peen, his space penis. And then it's actually quite horrific, Chad. And as we see, I heard cocaine. You've been a lot of cocaine tonight, Darkslayer. That's what they did. That's what they used to power through writing this movie, was just lines upon lines of cocaine. Thank you for the 5 Bs, by the way. Welcome to stream. And so we see Chad, he's like, oh, my penis. And he falls back, Chad, and eventually his penis has become so engorged, Chad. It's like this giant mass. It's like this giant mass of flesh, Chad. It's just been stretched out. It's horrific, actually. He's like, oh! And eventually, Chad, what is the giant, girthy, swollen peen birth, chat? Warwick Davis. He goes, woo! And that's why, kids, you should wear a fucking rubber. And she's like, Dolores freaks out as Warwick Davis literally peels back Kowalski's penis, chat. And he is birthed. He is birthed from Kowalski's penis. It's horrific. And Dolores, she's like, oh my God, Kowalski. And Kowalski, he dies. Like, you want to, chat, if you literally birth something from your penis, you know, like a Warwick-sized, like, if you ever, no one wants to birth. No one wants to birth, chat, a Warwick Davis from their penis, okay? No fucking thank you, all right? I would want to die. Like, if I do that, just kill me afterwards. I don't want to live with that memory, just dead. And thankfully, Kowalski dies, Chad. The sheer trauma of birthing a Warwick Davis from his penis kills him. And Warwick Davis, he just starts hunting Dolores in the bowels of the ship. He's just fucking with her and everything, trying to get a hold of her. He also does, at one point, a really weird John Wayne impression where he has a cowboy outfit and he goes, I ain't gonna hurt you, pilgrim. I ain't gonna hurt you. And he shoots her, or tries to. He misses, and he says, the hell I won't. It's very odd. I don't know why they went from... This all happens in a matter of like a minute, chat, where he's birthed from Kowalski's penis to doing a John Wayne impression. It's all the same scene. This all happens in the same thing. So anyway, she manages to escape, chat. And she goes back and she warns the Marines of Kowalski's demise. And they go, oh, fucking shit. This is not good. This is absolutely terrible. And so at this point, they go back to Harold and to Dr. Mittenhand, chat, on the TV screen. They go in there and they say, hey, that fucking thing is still alive and it's in the ship. And the sergeant's like, we're gonna abandon the ship. We gotta get the fuck out of here. And Mittenhand's like, Harold's like, no, you can't. You're still on the clock. He goes, fuck that. Okay, at midnight, we're out. I don't give a shit. You owe us our money. We clear this operation. You deal with this shit. And then Mittenhand's like, you are not leaving, Sergeant, you are still under my payroll. He's like, I don't give a shit. You and one army. What are you going to do, doctor? And it's supposed to be a big moment, chat. And then the walls at the end of the laboratory, they part. And reveals a secret chamber, chat. And it's where Dr. Mittenhand is. That's where Mittenhand is, chat. And Mittenhand, chat, it's basically the guy's torso and arm and head on a robot body. He's like on a fucking Dalek from Doctor Who, chat. He's more machine than man now, and he wheels himself out. And they go, what the fuck? He goes, I know my appearance may frighten you, but I assure you, I am still alive. And the guy's like, okay, that is fucking weird and gross. We're getting out of here. I already lost 2 Marines on this mission. Kowalski, good old Kowalski, he literally birthed a being from his penis, and lucky, well, he was quite unlucky now, wasn't he? We're getting the hell out of here. I'm not letting any of my Marines die in my watch again. And he goes, no, Sergeant, I'm continuing your contract. He says, you can't do this. He's like, yes, I can. The terms that you signed, matter of fact, they do dictate that I may continue your contract in an emergency. And Chad, I'm not over-exaggerating the voice. That is literally what he fucking sounds like. Okay? Very stereotypical evil German Nazi scientist. That's what they're going for. And he's like, well, if you're going to do that, what are you going to offer us? He says, I shall pay you 100 times what I paid you before. And they go, so that's a lot of 100 times? How much money does this man have? And they go, okay, 100 times, definitely. But also, on whatever the fucking shit experiments you're doing in here, we want a percentage of it, because this is what Harold and Dr. Mittenhand has been doing, chat. Apparently, Zendaya's blood, chat. Zendaya's blood, she's like a lizard. She's like a lizard woman underneath. And where her limbs grow back, chat, and apparently through the power of her blood, she can, like, regrow flesh and things. Or if it's exposed to other flesh, chat, like, for example, if it's like some skin, I don't know how this works, but from, like, some skin samples from your thumb or whatever, and they drip it on, like, a piece of flesh, it grows a new thumb. And Dr. Mittenhand, chat, because he's, kind of a lumpy humanoid robot boy now, he wants to regrow his body back, okay? He wants to be complete Mittenhand, not just robo-human Mittenhand anymore. He wants his other arm, he wants his body, he wants his penis. He doesn't have a penis anymore, chat. And he's like, I want my penis back. And apparently this could be a huge fucking, discovery. And it could be worth billions, if not trillions of dollars. And the Marines say, we will fucking do it if you give us 5%. And Mittenhand is like, 3%, but only on the back end. They go, deal, absolutely deal. But then before Sergeant, he says, Mittenhand. He goes, He says, if any more Marines die, it's your ass. If you have one, but he doesn't have an ass yet. It's all gone. And they leave, chat. And then Mittenhand and Harold, they continue to do weird experiments, chat. We do weird experiments We're going all this stuff, trying to come up with a good formula so they can inject it into Mittenhand. We also learned, Chad, that Mittenhand, apparently the reason why he became a Dalek humanoid thing is because he wanted to become the first human computer. That's all they say. He wanted to become the first human computer. I don't know what that entails. I have no idea what that entails. But apparently, as Harold, this kills me. This kills me. Harold says, "Did it work?" Dr. Mendenhand just stares at him and goes, "No. Does it look like it worked?" Honestly, when Dr. Mittenhand and Harold are on screen, the movie's a lot better. It's pretty fucking funny. Oh, thank you, Thursday, for the 5 biddies. Thank you. Brownie wants to know who lost their peen. Couple people did. In this movie, at least 2 people did. Kowalski, his penis literally exploded because it was filled with the body of Warwick Davis. And Dr. Mittenhand, he lost his penis because he tried to turn himself into the first human computer, but I don't know. We don't know why. We don't know why. And apparently, during that process, he lost. With the exception of his, I think, a right arm and torso and head, everything else. And so you don't want to become a human computer. What is this movie? I'm telling you, it's Leprechaun 4 in space. It's Leprechaun 4 in space. Welcome to Stream 9, Brownie. Hope you're doing very well. Hey, Christopher. Hey, Juicy Gang. Who lost their peen? Kowalski and fucking Dr. Mittenhand, chat. And so, also, Minhan, he's hamming it up, chat. He's at a fucking 11. Everyone else is at like a good old 7 in this movie. But he's saying, Harold, this shall be perhaps my greatest achievement in life. I shall be reborn. I shall come out of my hideous cocoon and shall be born anew as Dr. Mittenhand as he should be. And then Harold, without missing a fucking beat, just looks at him and says, "Cool." And then it cuts. I'm like, okay, that's the best part of the movie. That fucking line. That's one of the parts I'm like, that is hilarious. I love it. Bon anew. Anyway, so we cut from Dr. Mittenhand and Harold, chat. We're back with the Marines, and they're looking for the Leprechaun. Dr. Tina, she's joined them, chat. But even though, fucking Books, he hasn't wanted there, chat, because of the awkwardness earlier. There was a lot of awkwardness earlier, chat. But she's like, I know Kung Fu, okay? It's gonna come at a very specific point in the movie, and I'll save your ass with it. And they go, all right, well, we'll see if that happens. It does inevitably, chat. It does. And they're like, good, we gotta suit you up. So they give her a gun, they give her some body armor, chat, and everything, all that good stuff. Also, I forgot to mention, Harold's a creep. And he's constantly lusting on the body of Zendaya. He's kissing her and rubbing her bazungas and everything. It's just like, also he has a button fetish because he's constantly like licking her belly button. It's fucking weird and gross. But anyway, we're back at the Marines, and they're looking for the Leprechaun, and they're checking every nook and cranny of the ship, chat. But they come to this one specific point, this port, chat. Apparently, it's a they call it a disintegrator chamber. And like, we're going to go in there. And Dr. Tina's like, no, you can't go in there. Well, in there, that's a biological hazard. There is literally flesh-eating bacteria in there. And they're going, wait a minute. If this is a chamber that is used to disintegrate things and it's stuff that, like, materials that we don't need, why is it only filled with bacteria? Why, if the flesh kind wouldn't have an effect on a fucking box or anything that you typically would destroy? She goes, stop making things make sense in this movie. You can't go in there, okay? Biological hazard. And they go, we got to go in there and check it. It's like, first of all, if anything's in there, flesh-eating bacteria, it would be dead. In hindsight, it would be dead. There's no question. So there's no need to check inside there. If she says, well, he could have had one of our hazard suits. And they go, is any of the hazard suits missing? They check and go, oh, shit, one of the hazard suits is missing. Apparently, chat, one of the hazard suits that they have is Warwick Davis sized. Because Warwick Davis isn't just walking around like a suit that's too big for him. He's literally wearing a suit that is the size of Warwick Davis. It's like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. And they go, we got to go in there and check. Dr. Tina's like, I'm going to go in there. It's like, no, you won't, Dr. Tina. This is a job for men and men only. And she goes, that's kind of sexist. And they go, yeah, that's why you're not a Marine. And fucking Dolores is like, I'm a Marine. You're not talking, Dolores. And they like, we got to get our hazard suits on. And chat, the hazard suits, you can literally see the duct tape that is used to put these things together. They are basically wearing brown trash bags, chat, with no oxygen tanks. Like, they're going into a room that is filled with flesh-eating bacteria, chat. Okay, and the only way they got in these fucking suits is through a zipper. Now I'm pretty fucking sure that the bacteria can go through a goddamn zipper. So it's ridiculous. There's no oxygen, nothing. So they're just walk in these suits, breathing in carbon dioxide. Chap, probably gonna fucking fall unconscious, rip the fucking suit, and then be consumed by flesh-eating bacteria. But Books goes in there along with the mooch, chat, the good old mooch. He walks in there too. They go in there and they're looking around. And of course, fucking Warwick Davis is already in there. And he says, I'm going to kill one of these motherfuckers. And Warwick Davis, he's managed to obtain, Chad, a combat knife and, the mooch. And, Books, they're fucking around. They're pulling levers with the shit. Honestly, it looks like a shitty version of the Hellraiser set with the chains and the BDSM, stuff, Chad, and the hot leather. That's what it looks like. It's like they bought that set and just made it shitty. And so they're fucking around. Warwick Davis, he comes up behind the mooch and goes, and he cuts his suit open. He goes, my suit got cut open. He starts shooting randomly, Chad. And then he's like, the mooch, stop the mooch. I'm going to come for you. I'm coming to save you. And he grabs him, Chad. And he's telling the Marines, like, we got to get out of here. The mooch's suit's been ruptured. And like, oh, shit. And eventually they get out of there, Chad. Warwick Davis, he's just fucking laughing his ass off. He's having a great time. And eventually they drag the mooch out of their chat. And all the Marines, like fucking Corey Coleman and Danny and all the ones that are still alive are like, is the mooch okay? He's like, let's go ahead and see. And they turn him over, chat, and he's just a fucking skeleton with some red gelatin. He's just a skeleton. So apparently, chat, that flesh-eating bacteria works very quick, but he's just literally a, 7th grade, science class skeleton now. You can even see the metal screws in his arm. It's like, come on, movie. $1.3 million. You couldn't spend it on a good skeleton. So the mooch is dead, Chad. The mooch is dead. So things are not going well. Eventually, chat, the Marines, they keep on moving, and they're going to be split into groups now. The Sarge says, okay, it's how we're doing it. Dolores, you're with me. Books, you go with Tina. Corey Coleman and Danny, you go on your own. Okay, we'll split up. We got they have the motion trackers from Alien Chat to track down Warwick Davis, and we'll meet at this point. Okay, let's move. And then while the Sarge and Dolores, they're walking around, and she feels very guilty over the death of Kowalski, Chat. And she goes, Sarge, just want to talk to you for a minute if you don't mind. He goes, what's up, Marine? What's up, Dolores? She goes, I just feel really bad. He says, you feel bad over Kowalski? Yeah, I mean, it's my fault that he got that boner. I'm not joking, Chat. She literally says, it's my fault that he got that boner. I guess thinking that the boner is the reason why the leprechaun was birthed. That's her lie. And without missing a fucking beat, the Sarge's like, it's not your fault that you gave him a boner. I mean, look at you. And she's like, true. And, it's like, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, Kowalski, that's how he would have wanted to die. It's like, I don't think that's how Kowalski would have wanted to die. I'm pretty sure that wasn't in the top 10 or the top 20. Like, I want to die almost having sex, but then birthing Warwick Davis from my penis. I'm not going to say it's one of the times like, no what, that's how I want to go out. I don't think so, Chat. And, and I'll tell you right now, Dolores, if it was me in that situation, I would have died a happy man. And Dolores is looking at him and is like, oh, would you? And then he's like, I'm really uncomfortable. Dolores is like, I forget Kowalski, okay? I want what's in front of me. And he's like, we got to keep going. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to fall behind you, Sarge. It's very weird. Dark say, think of the 5 Bennies. That's what every man fears, a boner birthing a psychotic leprechaun from his peen. Yep, apparently. Thank you, Dark Slayer. Oh, boners cause a lot of world problems. No, they have. You're not wrong, Nia Brown. You're not wrong. They absolutely have. Oh my God. Anyway, so we cut back. What do we cut to now? We cut to Tina and Books, Chat, and they're doing the whole, we're arguing. It's like they like each other, but they can't admit it. That old bullshit or whatever. But then we cut to Corey Coleman and Danny, Chat. And Danny, he's a son of a bitch, Chat. He's like, you know what? Corey, let's just hold up. Let's just hold up and wait until this all fucking blows over, okay? Wait until the ship gets to the next station and we fucking get our money, man. And fucking Corey's like, no, I mean, all our friends could die. He's like, fuck those guys, man. We should just get out of here. And they're like, no, Danny, you take point. I want to hear that kind of speak from you, Marine. And Danny's like, oh, you're a fucking moron. He keeps going forward. Eventually, they encounter Warwick Davis, and Danny just goes, woo, woo, woo. He just fucking takes off. And Corey's like, you son of a bitch, Danny, get your ass back here. And Danny shuts down the door. Shay is like, it's your ass now, Coleman. And he runs off. But the leprechaun's like, you know what? I'm going to get you later, Corey Coleman. I'm gonna go for the goddamn Oh, Danny boy, the pipes, they're calling. And he chases after Danny, chat. And he encounters him. Also, but no, before he does that, actually, he's in the room with him, but he does like a PSA on the TV. He did like a whole act. Anything to warning Danny of the hazards of working on a spaceship. And Warwick Davis is just cutting off his fingers and shit. It's like, what? Be careful of sharp objects. Oh, shit. Ha, ha, ha. And then he sets himself on fire. And Danny's just like, oh, my God. This is horrifying. And eventually he just shoots the TV because he's scared. But then he hears Warwick Davis like, oh, Danny boy. He sings the song and everything. And then he's like, hey, listen, man. All right. Let's do a parlay. I don't want to kill you. You don't want to kill me. Let's just get through this, okay? Let's team up. He's like, wow, he's betraying his own people, Chad, his fellow Marines. Semper Fi for fucking Warwick Davis, the Leprechaun. And Leprechaun's like, oh, you would like to team up, would you? He's like, yeah, man, I'll put my gun down and everything. All right, just tell me where you are. He's going to shoot him anyway, Chad. He goes, I'm right behind here, behind these pipes. Come closer, my boy. And he goes over there, Chad. He's like, a little closer, right there. Perfect. And then he cuts a goddamn chain, chat. And this huge fucking metallic box is falling on Danny. He goes, no! And it sploosh. It goes sploosh, chat, right on top of Danny. And he gets smushed. And Danny is no more, chat. He's been smushed. So Danny's dead. Eventually, we cut back to, I think, we cut back to, no, we're not that, no, you're right, Books and Tina, they're still arguing and all that fucking bullshit. They're doing the same goddamn thing. Eventually, though, they come to an agreement. It's like, you know what, we actually have more in common. You know, I'm sorry for yelling at you. I'm sorry, too. And they're like, just about to smooch, chat, just about to smooch. Also, Books has been looking at Tina's ass the entire time, chat, because she's wearing these red leggings. And she looks good in them. There's no doubt about that, chat. But it's like, now is not the time for love, Dr. Jones, okay? You can't lust after Dr. Tina. You gotta fucking defeat a leprechaun here. And while they're just about to smooch chat, Warwick Davis, he handcuffs Books to like a, I don't know, like a shelf or something. He goes, I'm stuck. And again, he can just manipulate space and time. And fucking Dr. Tina's like, she's shooting at Warwick Davis and shit. And eventually, they cut the handcuffs off. They cut the handcuffs off, and they're shooting at Warwick Davis. He runs off. He runs off. He's like, okay, I'm fucking done with you fucks. I gotta go find my bride. I gotta go find Zendaya. And he's in the upper levels of the ship now. And he smells. He's like, I smell my bride. And he walks down. He walks down. And eventually we cut back to Mitten Hand and Harold, chat, and they just prepared the serum for Mitten Hand, chat. You know, Harold's about to inject him so he can regrow his body in peen. But oh no, there's ding dong. There's the doorbell on the spaceship. It indicates there's someone at the door. And Mitten Hand's like, Harold, would you please get that? Harold's like, no problem. And he goes over there and he hits the video, turns on the security footage chat to see who it is. He's like, yes. And it's Dr. Tina, chat, except she's completely naked. She says, Harold, it's me. It's Dr. Tina. The leprechaun took all my clothes and I'm completely naked. I'm so cold. Can I come inside? And he goes, yeah. Fucking Harold, you perf. Thank you. Who is this new person, chat? I want to thank this new follower. Oh my God. Vic Hoop 91. Think of how you're my new Huckleberry. Welcome to the stream. Just at the part where Harold is lusting after the very naked Dr. Tina, chat. She's very cold and she needs to get inside to see Harold. All the people, forget everybody else, chat. She needs to see Harold. And so he's like, okay, do that again. Just like, oh. Sploosh splat boners, goddamn right. And so Harold opens it up and he goes, but it's not Dr. Tina, chat. It's not Dr. Tina. It's the leprechaun. And he takes like the knife that he has, shit, and goes, and he stabs Harold in the balls and the peen, chat. That's what he got. It's what he fucking deserves. He goes, oh, and he falls on over. And the leprechaun walks in. He sees his bride on the table. But then he sees Dr. Middenhand and goes, oh my God, Jesus Christ, what the fuck are you? And he's like, you think I look bad? Look what you look. You're a little monster. He's like, who are you calling a monster? And he's like, you know what? I'll give you that. I am quite monstrous, aren't I? KM. This sounds like a lot of bad movies. It is. It absolutely is. There's no question about it. It's. We're gonna get to another one it steals from, but it's a combination between Leprechaun, obviously, Aliens, and soon to be The Fly. Chad, David Cronenberg's The Fly. We're gonna get to that part. So bad you have no. It's a pretty bad movie. Like I'm hopefully I'm making it better for you guys. Like the only way you should watch this is either listen to my review, of course, or watch it with a funny audio commentary going. That's the only way. So, Dr. Mittenhand and Leprechaun, they're having a discussion. Like, really, it's just like, Leprechaun's like, I want my bride. That's what I want. He's like, what? You don't want your bride. What do you really want? He's like, I want respect. I want people to grovel before me. That's what I want. He's like, that's stupid. The only thing even Dr. Mittenhand, he's even more evil than Leprechaun. He says, what you need is fear. Fear is what moves the universe. Fear and power. We are both greedy, my friend. Maybe we can work out a deal. And then what can I give you? Leprechaun's like, you can't give me anything, Mittenhand, that I can't make myself. Then why don't you just make yourself king of the universe then? Your power set is all over the fucking place. Why? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And then they're having it back and forth. But then fucking Harold, he pulls the knife that is inside of his balls, his genitals. He pulls that shit out. He goes, oh, and he makes his way towards the Leprechaun. Mittenhand's like, oh yes, well, my friend, you know what? You are correct. I cannot help you, and you cannot even help yourself in the time you have left. You must die. And then Harold comes up and goes, yeah, and he stabs the Leprechaun full of the back. Leprechaun's like, ah. Adorable. And then he uses his Papa Palpatine power. He's unlimited power. And he shocks Harold Chen. He throws him against the wall. He's like, oh. And then he takes like, I don't know, like a fucking pizza pan. He takes like a fucking frying pan. I don't know why it was there. Takes a frying pan. He's like, this is for you. And he throws it at him. He uses his telekinetic powers to throw it at me. Harold's like, ah, and it hits Harold in the face. It's very comedic shit, some Three Stooges shit, but then the pan removed. And his entire head shit has been flattened into like a big fucking pie. It's like a big old pizza pie. He's like, and he dies. He falls down dead, chat. It's horrific. And then Leprechaun turns around, it's like, you fucked up, Dr. Mittenhand. Oh, I got something special planned for you. And then eventually, the Leprechaun, he sees his bride. She's like, ooh, so pretty, so curvaceous. I love it. And he's like, kiss her. And he kiss her on the lips. She wakes up. She's like, what the fuck? Oh, he's like, oh, the lovely voice of me bride. And she's like, oh, it's you, Jesus Christ. And she looks over and she says, who the fuck is this guy? We see Dr. Mittenhand, chat. He's in one of those bondage suits with the ball. He's like, oh. And he's like, oh, this one was experimenting on your lovely body. I have something special planned for him. She's like, ooh, and they're all evil and shit. Eventually, we cut back to the Marines and like, we gotta fucking get back. Like, they find Danny's smush splat body. He's dead. And like, we gotta go ahead and we gotta save him. We gotta stop the goddamn Leprechaun. Oh no, there's another scene too, Chad. There's another scene early before I think the Leprechaun gets to Dr. Mittenhand. I forgot about this. So they encounter him, but Dolores is cut off from them, and she's like, there you are, and she fucking blasts him, Chad. She's a grenade launcher on a rifle, and she's ba-boom, and she blows him up. And she's like, that one was for Kowalski and his peen. And she walks up to the Leprechaun, Chad, and she's like looking down. It's like, yeah, that's how the Marines do it. Semper fucking fi. But then the Leprechaun, he regenerates, Chad. And he pushes her, chat. And she's over a precipice, chat. Apparently, you have all these crosswalks of no bars. She flips her over. And she's like, oh! She's hanging on for her life. And Leprechaun's like, oh, I'm going to tell you a little thing that my mother once taught me. This little piggy went to the market. And she goes, no! This little piggy stayed home. No! And like the Marines are like, we got to get through this door, Marines! And they're trying to get down the door, chat. But then Leprechaun's like, and this little piggy ran all the way home. And she's like, ah! And she falls into a blue screen, chat. She falls in the blue screen. She hits every fucking thing on the way down. And they go in there, and Warwick Davis runs off, and that's when he goes and attacks Mittenhand and Harold. And they go to the dead body, chat. They find the body of Dolores. And, Dr. Tina, chat, she's a doctor. She knows when someone's dead. She presses her, her two fingers against her neck, checks. She's like, nah, she's dead. She's gone. And then Dolores like grabs her and goes, you gotta kill that son of a bitch. And she dies, chat, because all of her insides are all destroyed. And you're like, we gotta go get Dr. Mittenhand and Harold tell them the situation. And then Sarge goes, oh, she's a good goddamn Marine. And they run off. Meanwhile, we cut back to Dr. Mittenhand, chat, and Warwick Davis. He wants to do a little experiment. He takes some of Zendaya's blood, chat, puts it into a blender, and he goes, let's add some spice to it. And he takes a fucking tarantula, chat, like a live tarantula, puts that in there too, and also grabs a scorpion and goes, oh, look at that. This is so lovely. And he fucking blends that shit. Dr. Mittenhand's like, no. He's like, oh, yes. And he gets a syringe, chat, and he gets all that good Zendaya, spider scorpion splooge, puts it right into the skull of Mittenhand shit and injects. He's like, no! And he injects that shit into him. Eventually, the Marines get there, and they see what's happening, and they're like, oh, shit, we gotta get after the Leprechaun. But the Zendaya and Leprechaun, they're running off, chat. Mittenhand's like, he's freaking out and things, like he's, oh my God, he's gonna die? We don't know, chat. But then we follow the Marines, and they go into, like, a new room where Zendaya is, and Zendaya is like, why do you filthy commoners pursue us? And they're like, we're here to save you. He's like, you're not here to save me. You're doomed. Doomed, I say. And she's like, yeah. And she takes off her brassiere, chat, and she presents her breasts. She just presents her breasts. And she's walking around with her breasts. He's like, and they're like, the fuck is going on? And then, oh no, the Leprechaun, chat, he pops out and he takes control of the Sarge. And the Sarge is now under his sway. And the Sarge holds fucking Corey Coleman and Books and Dr. Tina at gunpoint. And the Leprechaun is like, oh, thank you. I mean, you're doomed. Holding Brother yes. You're doomed. You're doomed. But imagine, chat, if the old man from Friday the 13th had boobs. And he went, and if he did that, same thing. And basically he says, don't fucking pursue us anymore, okay? We're taking off, all right? Bye-bye! And they run off, you know, with the goddamn Sarge and shit. And Zendaya and Leprechaun. And they're like, oh no, they're still looking for him, though. They're still looking for him. Eventually, though, oh no, they go back in the same room, and Dr. Mittenhand, chat, he's gone. He ripped himself from his little Dalek machine, and we don't know where the fuck he is. Like, where the hell, where did he go? Oh, chat, we'll soon find out. Eventually, though, Warwick Davis and Zendaya and the Sarge, they're going to the escape shuttle. Like, we got to get to the escape shuttle and get the fuck out of here. But then, you know, Zendaya, she's all thinking about her future. She's like, oh, it's going to be great. We're going to be wealthy, and oh, your gold. And he's like, me gold! Me gold! Where's me gold? And that's the thing. He totally forgot about his gold shit. He's been so preoccupied. She's like, oh, I'm down. I think they have it in one of in the thing called a cargo bay. He goes, we got to get my fucking gold. She's like, don't worry about it. You can make gold. He's like, I can't make just gold. So we do know some of the limits of his powers, chap. Apparently, he can't just make gold. He has like a certain amount of gold that he has in jewels. He's like, I got to get that back. She's like, oh, God, you're so dumb. He's just like, shut the fuck up, woman. So apparently, there's a tension now between the two of them, chap. And the Sarge is like, what do you need me to do, sir? And he's like, okay, you need to shut the fuck up. You're annoying me. You know what? I'm going to give a little surprise to your fellow Marines. And he morphs his mind, chat. He takes control of his mind even more. He makes him do some things. We shall see. Eventually, the Marines, they pick up the Sarge on their scanners, chat. And they go to, he's at the lounge area, the bar area. And they go in there and they're like, Sarge, where are you? And the lights turn on, chat. The disco ball starts moving. The 2096 disco ball, chat. Get some cool music playing. And the Sarge walks out in drag, chat. Fucking high heels, mini skirt, showing off the hairy bazungas, chat. Nice wig, nice makeup. And he is just strutting, chat, showing his stuff. And he's beating the shit out of them to a goddamn beat. Just taking him out, chat. And Dr. Tina and Corey Coleman and Books, they cannot defeat the cross-dressing Sarge. He's just too goddamn powerful. But they're trying to reach him. It's like, Sarge, this isn't you. It isn't you. But he's like, this is who I am. And he's choking the shit out. And then Dr. Tina's like, stand back, boys. I got this. It's girl v. girl. Girl on girl. Get it, chat? Girl on girl. And she starts kung fu fighting, chat. She starts fighting against the Sarge, knocking some sense into him. Eventually, his personality kind of comes back. She's like, I can't stop it. I can't stop it. I'm a Marine. I know it's not who I am. And so I'm like, okay, is this like some subtle, you know, like commentary on like over masculinity, that kind of thing? Like the Sarge, he puts up this big front, but he's actually like really sensitive about himself. Maybe he wants to be a woman. I don't know, chat. I'm not sure. Or they just be like, this is a funny scene. I don't think Leprechaun 4 is going for that deep, subtle commentary, chat. I'm going to say that's a no. And eventually, they try to reach to him, chat, but they can't. They can't, and he still fights them. Eventually, he grabs like a fucking spear. I don't know where he gets the spear, chat. He gets a spear, and he goes, ah! And he hits like the vending machine in there, chat, filled with all the cigarettes, filled with all the illicit substances. He goes, he shocks himself, chat. He goes, ah! And he falls back. And the tinfoil part of his head falls off. And they look down, chat. It's this big fucking twist of the movie. It's this revelation. They go, oh my God, he's a robot. Well, that's weird. And they run off. Like, I guess it was supposed to be the android moment from, like, Alien, chat, when Ash is revealed to be a robot, an android, and it's like, oh my God. Except here it means fucking nothing. It's just like, okay. So Leprechaun just knew he was a robot and changed his program. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But the Sarge is a robot. There you go. And they're like, we got to get after the Leprechaun. And so eventually they run after the Leprechaun, chat. And but then we cut back to Dr. Mittenhand, chat. He's not having a good day. Because he comes to, and he's like, I feel awful. And he drags himself, chat, and then he sees what he's become. He's become a giant, gooey, human Dr. Mittenhand spider scorpion creature, chat. He's got a big old badonkadonk. His ass is very swollen, chat. He's got legs and appendages and eyes coming out of him. He's like, ah! It's like, oh my God, he's like a mutant. He is no longer Dr. Mittenhand, chat, as he calls himself. I am Dr. Mitten Spider. That's what he literally he calls himself, Dr. Mitten Spider. That's his new name. Eventually, we cut back to Leprechaun in Zendaya. And Leprechaun's like, you know what? Fuck this place. I'm gonna blow it up. And he goes to the self-destruct computer. There's a computer on the ship, that self-destruct computer. He types in some shit, and now it's like, yeah, ship's gonna explode in 25 minutes. It'll give me plenty of time to get me gold. And at this point, you know, the survivors, Corey Coleman, Books, and Dr. Tina, they're like, oh shit, we gotta like stop the Leprechaun, we gotta rescue the princess, but then we also have to shut down the self-destruct. And I'm not joking, chat. Corey Coleman, also knows Miguel Nunez, says, it's okay, guys. You two escape. I will shut down the ship, okay? I will sacrifice. He literally says, I'll be the sacrifice. He's going to be the sacrificial black man, and he's willing to be. Are you fucking killing me? Are you fucking kidding me? Killing me and kidding me? It's ridiculous. So it was the robot Sarge. Sarge is the robot. He was a cross-dressing robot. And Corey Coleman says, goodbye, white people. And he runs to the command center, chat, where they can shut down, where Dr. Mittenhouse is, chat, or now Dr. Mitten Spider is. And he's going to shut it down. And while Books and Dr. Tina go fight the Leprechaun. Eventually, chat, Corey Coleman, he gets to the command station where he's like, it's all spider webs now. It's very weird. Thank you, Juana Man. No. Dark Slayer, thank you for the 5. He dems the rules before 2010, Chris Drew. This was 1996, so those were the rules. Thank you. Bertoli Wildflower, thank you for the 41 biddies. Just heard your full-time grads, brother. Thank you. Yep. Today technically was my first full day. Freedom Day, I should say. Thank you, Kryptonian Wildflower. Thank you for the generosity. I do appreciate you. We're almost done with the review. We're very, very close to the end, chat. Thank you for joining me. And so, Corey, he's at the command station. He's like, I gotta put in the code, Chad. Apparently it's in a red book filled with all sorts of codes to shut it down. He's like putting all these codes in, but oh no, something's creeping up behind him, Chad. Is it Dr. Mitten Spider? It is, because he turns around and goes, oh my God, what happened to you? Ah! And so he gets eaten alive. He gets eaten alive by Dr. Mitten Spider, Chad. Or does he? Eventually we cut back to Books and Dr. Tina, and they find the Leprechaun in the cargo hold, Chad. And the Leprechaun has put an After Effects green bubble on top of the escape shuttle, and so no one can leave until he finds his goddamn gold. And Zendaya's just like, okay, you're a fucking moron. Let's get the fuck out of here, okay? We got like 15 minutes left before this place explodes. He goes, shut the fuck up, okay? And she goes like, you ugly little pimple. Is like, I don't need you. I can marry any man in the galaxy. He goes, oh, I don't think so. I don't think any man's going to want you. And she goes, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, you have a little blemish on your face. She's like, I am perfect. He goes, no. And he snaps his fingers. He goes, no, you have a little blemish right there. And he pokes her head. She goes, no, I'm beautiful. And she takes, like, she has a little mirror. It's like, look at me. And she goes, ah! And she sees her face. Chad is all covered in this disgusting pimple, gooey acne. And she's leaking. She goes, my face, my beautiful face. And she falls down, Chad, and she knocks herself out. Thank God she can shove. He's like, oh, thank God, that's over. And eventually, Chad, he finds his goal, but he's sad because apparently, chat, we have invented shrink ray technology. Zelensky shrink ray technology, chat. And he goes, why is my Goldo little and shit? He's like, what did they do to it? This is terrible. But then fucking Books and Dr. Tina enter and like, we're after you, Leprechaun. And they go, ah! And they get into a battle, chat. They battle each other. They're fighting all that good stuff. But the thing is, the Leprechaun, he's just too goddamn tough, Chad. They're just too goddamn tough. And Books, he gets thrown across the fucking room. And now it's just between Dr. Tina and Leprechaun, Chad. And she's like, she's fighting him and everything. But then she turns on the ray. She turns on the Zelensky shrink ray, Chad. But it goes to big. It goes to big instead of small. And he's getting like, And Warwick Davis, chat, becomes a giant leprechaun in space. Now it's giant leprechaun in space. That's what's happening. And she's like, he's trying to like kill them both. But at this point, they're like, why hasn't fucking Corey Coleman shut down the self-destruct? Because now he got only like less than 10 minutes. What the hell's going on? She says, like, I got to get to the command station and see. He's like, okay, I'm going to take the emergency ducts to get there. And so she hops in there, Chad, and she's crawling through the ducts, but she's seeing all this spider webbing and shit. And she's like, what the hell's going on? And then, Dr. Spider Mittenhand shows up, Chad. And he goes, give me that ass. I want to eat that ass. Like, literally, he says, I want to eat that ass. Because he's hungry all the time. He wants to eat things. And he grabs her ass, Chad, and he rips off her leggings. And so she's got her underwear on, Chad. And you see her big old buttocks. You see that good old booty. And she continues to move forward, Chad, as the camera's right up her ass. It's like, okay, I see what you're doing here, movie. And eventually, she escapes Dr. Spider Mittenhand, Chad, and she goes to the command station where she finds Corey Coleman, who's not dead yet. He's just been kind of cocooned. And he's still putting in the codes to the ship. He's like, I'm a little preoccupied because I'm covered in blood viscera webbing. She goes, oh my God, what happened? He's like, it's fucking Dr. Mittenhand. He's Dr. Spider Mittenhand now. He goes, that's not good. Or Mitten Spider. And they're like, okay, we gotta shut this down. But oh no, fucking Dr. Mitten Spider shows up. He's like, I'm gonna eat you too. And he's going towards you. Actually, the puppetry for Dr. Spider or Dr. Mitten Spider is actually pretty good, Chad. The makeup on him is pretty cool. But he goes to her, Chad. But fucking Dr. Tina goes, I know it can defeat you. And she gets a fire extinguisher, Chad. And she sprays him with it. He goes, not the fire extinguisher. And she freezes him. Chad. He's like, apparently he's very susceptible to cold. And he's like, help me, like the Fly from the original Vincent Price Fly. And she's like, I'm so sorry, Dr. Mittenhand or Dr. Mitten Spider, fuck it. And she fires the gun at him, Chad, and ba-boom, he explodes. And that is the end of Dr. Mittenhand / Mitten Spider, Chad. He's been defeated. Please help me. Then she goes back to, what are we doing here? Oh, yeah, I think we cut back to Books, who is trying to avoid the Leprechaun, Chad. He's trying to avoid the Leprechaun, and it's hard though because he's big now. He's a big Leprechaun. He's trying, come here, little bastard. He's trying to get him. Eventually, Chad, he finds Zendaya, and she's no longer covered in pustules, Chad. Apparently, Warwick Davis' magic does not work for a long period of time. Apparently, it does wear off, but he grabs her. He's like, I know, I have one plan. And he runs with her, Chad. Runs with her to the end of the cargo bay. And he shuts the door behind him. And Warwick Davis trying to smash in the door, trying to get at him, Chad. But then, fucking Books, he flips the switch on the shuttle bay, on the cargo bay door, and opens it up to the vacuum of space. And Warwick Davis is like, oh shit! And he's so big, Chad, he can't grab on to anything. And he's like, no! And then we get that famous scene, Chad, which we see right here. It's right there. He's like, no! He's trying to no! But he can't fight against the vacuum of space, chat. And he's sucked out. He's sucked down in the space. And he goes, oh, I got the bubbly guts. And he literally explodes, chat. That's what happens in space because of the lack of oxygen and the temperatures and change. Your body will actually fill with air and you'll fucking pop. And he explodes, ba-boom! And eventually, Books, he knocks the shit out of the princess. Like, you just beat just be quiet, be quiet. And he runs to the command station where Dr. Tina and Corey Coleman are trying to put in the last of the codes. Like, what's going on, guys? We only got 10 seconds left. And they got to figure out a password, chat. And they're like, well, it's the private password of fucking Dr. Mittenhand, who's also known as Mitten Spider, but he's dead. We can't ask him what it is. And he's like, well, what could the password be? They're putting all these fucking combinations. And he's like, I know. He always considered himself a wizard. He's always considered himself a wizard. Okay. And so they type in wizard, and that shuts down the self-destruction chat. And they go, woo, that was it. And they look out into space, and they see that it's the body parts of Warwick Davis, chat. They're all floating in there. And they go, hell yeah, man, we defeated the Leprechaun. Fuck you, dude. And they cut outside to Warwick Davis's severed hand, flipping them off. And they go, that Leprechaun. And then it cuts. To Leprechaun 4 in space. And credits. Thank you, Darkseid of the 5 Beats. A wizard did it. That's what it did. And there you go, Chad. That was a Leprechaun 4 in space. It is a terrible movie. It has its moments of humor, that are unintentionally funny. But yeah, at the end of the day, Chad, this is some old bullshit. This is a terrible film. The only way you should watch this is if you have like a comedic commentary going alongside it, a riff tracks, Mystery Science Theater 3000-S commentary. That's the only way. Or to listen to my review. Osnick. Cool. Oh my God. They saw him in space. No one can hear this bullshit. It's true. Now I brought in 4 out of 5 boners. Big Bang, Zack and the X. But yeah, it deserves nothing less, nothing more than some old bullshit chat. What's my favorite Leprechaun movie? I don't know, man. I don't like any of them, really. I don't think any of them are good. I don't know. Maybe the first one, I guess. I guess the first one. Moonraker vs. Leprechaun. Moonraker's a better film. Moonraker's definitely a better film. Just watch Aliens. Just watch Aliens, chat, or any other horror film. You'll do better. But with that, chat, that was Leprechaun 4 in space. I hope you enjoyed the review. Again, for those of you who are joining me just now, welcome. Just did my review for Leprechaun 4. Gonna be moving on to my spoiler review for Batman the Animated Series, chat, episode 25, The Clock King, before eventually getting into the gameplay shenanigans. Thank you! Thank you, Darkseid, for the 5 biddies. You elevated this movie more than you should. Thank you. I'm glad I improved upon it. But anyway, chat, I'm just going to go ahead, take a brief break, and refill my beverage. In the meantime, please entertain yourselves amongst yourselves. Stick around.